Okay, here we are with only a few moments to go before we get this grand final underway for the 2022 Tasmanian Rugby Union Senior Men's Premiership Division. I am blessed today to have the presence of, and so are you, Shaun Killian. Hi, Shaun.
Thanks, Deon. Thanks for having me today.
It's great to get you here. We haven't managed to get you on our stream yet this year. I know I certainly enjoyed commentary with you last year. So, yeah, no, really good that you could make it. And I'm really looking forward to this match between these two teams. Launceston have been the form club all year, but Taroona's final season has been pretty impressive too.
Yeah, definitely. I think Lonnie have had a good season. They've been pretty dominant all the way through. But as we know, Taroona always around that finals time they pick things up, they step up, and I think we're looking for a pretty good game today.
Yeah, and you can see Taroona just coming out. Launceston are about to meet out on the field, and Taroona just trailing behind them. So got pretty much full teams, I think. Both clubs would be happy being able to field their best, if not almost their best teams out there today. Some impressive names, and I'm certainly looking forward to a really tight tussle, particularly early on in this match.
Yeah, I think there's obviously some old and some young in both teams, and there's definitely some exciting players. So I think it's going to be a high-paced game, even though the conditions are a little bit wet. It's cleared up quite nicely, and we're looking forward to a good tussle out there today. Sure.
Now, just as the players finish shaking hands, we're going to embrace a moment's silence in honour of Queen Elizabeth II and her recent passing. So I'll just we'll go to mute here for a little bit while we wait for that. Everyone in the crowd could please be upstanding while we take a moment's silence to honour the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. Thank you. And also, just before we start, I'd like to acknowledge the Muanina people, the traditional custodians of the land upon which this great game today will be played. And I'd like to pay respect to all of their elders from the past and potentially the future, and hope that we can all carry on in this great country of ours in a spirit of reconciliation. Right, kick off. Looks like we've got Taroona with the kick. And just test that referee mic there. It's always one of those ones that depends on how heavily Craig, our referee, has to work as to whether he's heavy breathing out there. But Kazarine here with the fresh little mullet haircut, and he's got the ball in his hands with that left-footed kick. Here we go, and we're away. Season 2022 grand final. Matthew Noble gets his hands on that ball but knocks it on, so good pressure on the kickoff there from Noble. And now the big runner there in Jack Briggs makes some good metres off the base of the ruck, and Launceston look to try and assert some dominance around this area of the game. Just taking that ball in.
Interesting tactics, starting to pick and go, nice and early. Not looking for territory yet.
We know the big fellas always love to try and assert this early in the match. And now they push it out wide to Dunbar, who goes wide. And they're going to get around the outside there in defence, right out onto the wing, into the hands of Lombard, who's a try-scoring machine. And down they go. So eventually Bird gets across and takes Lombard to ground, I think. So nice move there from Launceston, rucking it up a few times close to the breakdown and then throwing it wide. But they're looking pretty good so far, the Tigers. And here they go wide. We've got a hooker right in front of us here, right on the touchline, asking for a kick. He's got no one deep in front of him, but Taroona there at the breakdown, able to get their hands on the ball, and Isaac Anderson on the bottom there, unable to let it go. And Taroona turn it over, so a bit of relief for them there, Shaun.
Yeah, definitely. A really good start of the game, some nice speed and good width of the, good width of the field. Interesting, he hasn't found touch.
Hasn't found touch.
They're on the counter.
Yeah, so Peters takes that one and dishes it off to Tokama'ata, the fullback, I think, there, with a good, solid run from him. And this time, Briggs can't get it, and it's been turned over. So a little bit of nerves there. He's a solid unit, is Jack Briggs.
Yeah, definitely is. There's some big boys out there today. It'll be interesting. They've got a really good position here. So Taroona obviously centre of the field, around about that, that 22. Really good start. It's the first time they can have the ball to do anything, and a real good opportunity for them to lay some foundations here.
Absolutely. Just also checking out the starting lineup out here too. Launceston listed Yessi Alatimu as their outside centre, but he's been replaced, I think, in the starting lineup here by Jonna Chand. So Chand he's lightning quick too. I've seen him with a couple of intercept tries this year.
Some fast feet and some good agility there. Amazing. That's for sure.
So yes, it's going to be a tough day, I think, at the office for the Taroona centres of Andreessen and Bird to try and contain, particularly Chand in that line. But Dunbar's always does a great job of taking the ball to the line and drawing the defence towards him as well. So going to be a tough one for the boys in blue. Now we've got Scott Eves here in the halfback position for Taroona with the put in, just as we resettle this scrum. Taroona in attacking position. This scrum's about 30 metres, 35 metres out. Scrum wheels and referee's arm goes out. This is going to give Taroona a good opportunity here to possibly put on some points early. And Kazarine got caught a little bit out behind his winger there and went for the kick over, but didn't get enough on it. And it's nearly 40 metres out. They might not go for the kick here. Kazarine's not a long kick. And they decide to go for touch, so interesting option.
They've got a slight breeze behind them, so I think, probably good to stay down here, try and pin themselves down into Launceston's half, and they haven't really had much opportunity down here, so, I think have a crack at it while they got the opportunity and see if they can come away with some points.
Good option. Yeah, Kazarine made sure he found touch that time. Oh, a bit of a shout out to Red there in the B's unit in the black hat. He's not listening on the stream, but when he comes back and watches it later, he can enjoy the call out. Hi, Red. How are you? Good to see you've made the trip down to Hobart. And the ball goes in. It's not a great throw, though, and Holman can't get his hand on it, so knocked on, not straight. Sam Lowe, Taroona captain there, shakes his head, not happy, so let off there for Launceston as they'll get away with not even having to compete against an attacking Taroona. And we'll have another scrum. See if this one can stay a bit straighter.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what Lonnie do here. Obviously, the first ball they got in their own half, they trucked it up and pick and go around the corner, and then use their width, and they haven't really kicked any field position yet. I think with these conditions, using that wide ball, I think will be great, but I'm not too sure if it's going to work very well. We'll see. Both teams like to play wide, expansive rugby, so we'll see how that pays off.
That's right, and they push it around to that side and go to Lombard, who gets past the first tackler and eventually gets bundled into touch. Shoulder. Under some pressure. Oh, not deemed a legal tackle. So Reece Watts was the man making contact, but I didn't catch who that was who came in. And might have been Rob Holmes on the wing there.
It was Rob. Yep.
Just came in and didn't, as they say, didn't attempt that arm wrap, or as the law say, attempt to grasp the player. Been a contentious issues around that over the last couple of weeks, Shaun.
Most definitely. We won't go there.
Excellent, but we love rugby. Oh, hang on, we've got to wait for this ball. They're about to throw the line out and the players are all jumping because the ball's come flying in, but it's not the right ball. So, interesting, some movements here too. Vincent Bell, the second rower for Launceston's way out on the opposite wing. Ball player sacked there, and Launceston will go for the deep pass to Dunbar, who looks to kick, and he gets a nice kick on it too, gets it well over the head of Holmes, sits up for him though, and he dishes off to Dewindham. He loves a run out of here. He's got a great step, but some nice defence there against him. Support comes in, and Taroona eventually get back around. Ball now comes to Holmes. And some great defence around that side on the blind by Launceston. Eves pointing, directing. Just getting some forwards to come in. They're way too far away. Eddington, who had a really outstanding game last week. Oh, unfortunate there. So Briggs just pulling that one. Just a little bit late there. Eddington's knees hit the ground and he's wrenched that one out. There's always a fine line when you're trying to steal that ball at the potential tackle.
Yeah, Launceston, they're not committing men to the breakdown. As you can see, they fanning out a fair bit at defensive time. They've got a nice big wall in front of the Taroona attack. So Taroona are going to have to either try and find some space potentially out wide, or maybe kick some field position. Yeah,
that's right. And you called it before. I think Taroona do like that expansive game, getting the ball out wide, and Launceston look like they're sort of preparing to set for that. Great line out throw that time. Beautiful shot on that one too that we could see straight down the middle. Ball comes to Towie. Nicely tackled there by Bell, and stolen, I think, in there too.
Yeah, a little bit slow to close that gate, Taroona were.
Yeah, often happens with Towie. He's a very fast runner at the line, and he often breaks through the first line. They've somehow managed to get that one back. Now Holman to Lowe, running back inside, manages to keep his feet to make another 5 metres. And Eves looks to the blind and then finds Loper in the middle of the ground. Just pushing into Launceston's half now. Eddington wide, gets shut down running across field, but dishes off to Bird, who can't catch it. So just coming across field too much there, Eddington. He really needed a straighter line.
Yeah, some really good defence there. I think they're sort of ready, that 10, 20, 30 pushing up off the line there, and particularly that third man out, jamming up and ready, cutting down their space. So putting them under a fair bit of pressure. You can see they forced the error and found themselves in a good position, and I've got no doubt they're going to have a crack at Taroona, and I would say possibly wide up that right-hand side.
Right, scrum being set here. Again, TJ Peters with the ball in hand.
Fine. Set.
Great view from our camera too, looking down onto this scrum. Great push there by Taroona. Awesome drive. It's going to be hard for them to get that out. Eventually they do, so good work at the back by Scarf to get that, and great hands from Dunbar. And he goes long looking for that 50-22. And Dewindham slips past the first one, but there's plenty of kick chases there. And Launceston now covering defence. Holmes very close to the line in that 5 metre zone. But again, the defence from Launceston just very sound, making sure those tackles stick. Taroona don't want to rush in these situations, just continuing against a good defence to make sure you don't make mistakes, get you plenty of opportunity with your hands on the ball. Eves decides to try and go himself. Nearly got back to his feet after being let go. And Kazarine goes with a kick, but Lombard's waiting for that down by the 22. Gee, that ball looked possibly forward.
Yep.
And Tokama Ada goes with the high ball. Dewindham's not watching it. He finally gets his hands on it, all over the shoulder there. And the penalty advantage has come. Matt Noble, who's a live wire with the ball, runs up, dodges the tackle of Hourigan, and eventually gets taken to ground. So penalty advantage for the high tackle. And that ball gets... so Loper just looking to get that ball out with the one hand, but couldn't. But Taroona still maintain possession. Eves to Kazarine. They go wide. And Bird, whoa, hit in a nice tackle. Just runs straight in. I think it was Dunbar making that tackle. He's pushed himself out wide in defence. And Bird just ran straight into him. But still got the ball, have the Penguins. They've made practically no ground since the original tackle back here on Noble on this side of the field. Good solid run though there from Andreessen. And Taroona again just getting in quickly. Eves coming up now. He needed to get to that ball quickly. Eddington gets around the first tackle there. Kendall going low but unable to take him. There's a boot astray on the field there. Now it comes to Harrison. Gets it out to Noble. He runs into Finiasi Parley, who's one of the flashest wingers you'll see in the competition. And you're not going to step around him very easily. Some nice hands there from Taroona, but again, just not making any ground.
Some really good continuity by Taroona. I think this is probably about their 8th or 10th phase, so they might not have made too much ground, but I'm sure they're going to find some holes at some stage. They are definitely moving Launceston around the field a fair bit.
That's right, and the more they can do this, that's how you draw penalties. And when you're in this attacking area, been lost there though, attacking area, all it takes is one penalty and you end up with 3 points, and they've got the penalty there. Quick tap from Watts. Those guys are not back 10, so there's an advantage. And Taroona maintaining possession and putting on the pressure. Eves ducks through, tackled by a Braden Dorr, who didn't look like he ever got to his feet. And now it comes out here, and McConaughey runs it in. And he's not going to get that one back. Flicks it out eventually. We'll come back for the penalty for not retiring the 10 metres.
Yeah, continuity was good there. They got through a lot of phases. Initially didn't make too much ground, but as you said, you keep working at it. So you either land up finding a hole or you land up pulling a penalty, and that's what they've got. So they've got an opportunity to take their 3 now and get on the board.
So it's quite wide out here, but it's well within the range of Kazarine. His kicking's pretty good towards the end, so just a bit of a caution there. I think I didn't quite pick up the referee's mic there, but yeah, Gardner just having a chat with Callum Lyle, Launceston captain there, about a few penalties, I think, in this area, so needing to be careful. Just see on the left of screen there, Sam Loper down. He didn't play last week after copping I don't know, he didn't really cop a knock. He pulled up pretty poorly out of a scrum in the final against Burnie and didn't play most of that game. And the kick goes wide.
Right.
So good strike, but just not quite on target. And that'll give the Tigers the opportunity to kick this ball out here. Taroona don't want to underestimate Dunbar's kicking ability too. He's got a long raking kick on him, and they'll need to cover deep here.
Yeah, it's a real pity for Taroona that didn't go through. I think that potentially might come back to bite them. They spend a lot of time down here and really need to come away with some points.
James Holman attacks that ball with good intention, and so it doesn't pay off the short kick there for Launceston. Just gives Taroona more attacking opportunity close to the line. Dunbar gets up on Bird again. So interesting defence there. Dunbar seems to be shifting out wide when they're defending. He's been face-to-face with Bird in that 13 channel a few times. And then some good counter-rucking here, although they've fallen over the top of that ball, Launceston.
Yeah. Did look a bit from the side and
you can
potentially
just
off
see
their
the ball
feet.
here. But Taroona at that ruck taking too long to get it out. And so it's deemed to be going the other way. So good hustle there at the breakdown by Launceston. Taroona just taking too long to get that out, and I'm not sure who. I think it might have even been Dunbar who had a good look at that and came in and made that first hit on the slow ball. Yeah, and then followed up by Anderson.
Because a few times there, as I said, Lonnie are already fanning out the breakdown, not really committing themselves. But when Taroona are getting in there, they might only have 2 players, but they're not always alert and aware with their heads up and in a good shape and a good position. So when they drop their head or they don't put themselves in a good position, that's when that counter comes in.
Last scrum, Taroona really dominated against Launceston. That was a much better one by the Tigers. Dunbar now has a look. He's got Parlay outside him, and he kicks right in front of our tent, and that ball goes out and into touch inside Taroona's half by about 5 metres. So some plenty of kicking happening so far from Dunbar today. Field position is something that you really want to have, in your favour if you're going to come up trumps in the grand final. 15 minutes in, pretty uneventful match so far. No real flashy line breaks, no really big hits, nothing particularly going on. That
Just a
throw,
good contest.
yeah, throw from low goes astray again. Isn't hitting his target. So 2 out of 3, he's failed in those as low. So we want to really get his head back in the game with his lineouts.
Yeah, those lineouts are going to be so important, aren't they? If you're playing field position and you do land up getting a fair few extra lineouts in a game like this, you really got to make sure you hit your target.
That's right, and it's as a kicking back, Dunbar will be going, oh, this is great. I'm just going to keep kicking back, because if they can't make their lineout stick, we win it every time I kick it out. So really need to sort that out. Taroona. Peters loses it. Not sure what the penalty was there.
Ooh.
No, missed. They got the total wrong call there.
That was tough. I think he actually played the player's arm.
Yeah,
and the player
absolutely.
dropped the ball forward.
Don't know how. That's must have had a call from the assistant on that one, but we had a perfect view here. It's only about 15 metres away from us, and yeah, Eves definitely didn't put his hand on the ball there. He grabbed the arm, so unfortunate for him, but that's the breaks, and that happens in rugby. All right, Launceston now with a good attacking opportunity. First one they've really had down here with a set piece. And they go to Lombard easily. Dunbar now out to Chand, who just manages to juggle it and then gets around Bird, but the pass is no good. And it's been turned over, and Watts manages to get on that one. And Taroona will now look to try and exit this defensive zone. Ball comes deep and finds Casuarina, kicks long. He might have put that out on the full. No, I don't think. No, they turn around. He has.
Yeah, he has.
He's outside the 22.
I think that was a good choice. Obviously not quite executed, but definitely a good choice, because if that ball lands in and runs down to the corner, that really puts him under a lot of pressure.
Absolutely. If it was, I'm not sure, it looked like it was pretty close to the line. If it had bounced a metre the other way, could have bounced into that 22 zone, which would put some pressure onto Launceston. But it was not a bad effort, but as you said, just execution. Ball lost there by Launceston at the line out. And Eves, who's always busy as a halfback, comes in. And that one's been turned over too. So quick ball in there. Anderson pushes it back. Dunbar flicks it wide to Chand. They've got some numbers out here, but he's missed completely. Chand with the big pass over the top. Wry grin on the face there of Matty Noble in the number 11.
Probably just better to play the hands and use the space.
That's right. Draw and feed was needed there. I think that long looping pass gave Noble plenty of time to get across as well in defence to cover. So just again execution there, but that's what happens. Grand finals. There's pressure on. Players feel it, and sometimes the intent isn't actually matched with the skill level because of the pressure. So Taroona now. Good view again for you at home on this line out. But Lowe needs to get this one right, and he doesn't. Goes over the back. At least it was straight. And Eves somehow ended up with that after making a solid hip contact on Briggs, who's about 3 times his size. And then Taroona penalised here coming in on the side. So I think Towie there in the number 7 with the indiscretion at the breakdown. And again, the ruck is won by the Tigers.
Yeah, Launceston definitely just, they reacted a lot quicker. Obviously, one player from each team going for the ball, but the team members around them, Lonnie, were quicker to have that reaction and really counter that, which was great work. Put yourself in a real good position. 5 metres out from the line. Line out's been pretty good so far.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised again here if Taroona don't contest in the air. They'll be looking for Lyle in the number 23, and they go further back, and they've missed the target too. Watts tries to catch that and is tackled. He's lucky, kind of unlucky there, when Watts has put his hand on the ball and then tackled at the same time. He's come up holding his shoulder as Watts too. Getting thumped in that one.
Samuel Lopez down again. He's definitely struggling to get through this first half.
Yeah, that's right. Not looking good. And Gardner's just going to have a conversation with Loper.
I've got blue, but we're going to go blue card, all right? Blue card.
Yeah, there. I think Taroona will be regretting getting Sam Loper out here today, so that's it for him for the day. Blue card means potential concussion issues, and the referees decided that Loper is not in a state to be able to continue playing. And so Taroona now down to 22 players for the rest of the match, and Loper walking very slowly off. Replacement coming on the field, Matthew Brocklehurst, the elder statesman of the Taroona team there. He's played a lot of rugby in a lot of places, and he'll be coming into this side with plenty of experience under his belt. And that's Brocklehurst there in the headgear in the number 1, just talking to Sam Lowe. need to sort this line out, and it's really not working for Taroona today, so they're going to have a really good rethink. Eves gets on it quickly. Briggs, who's had his hand on the ball a lot, met in a really good tackle there. Sort of didn't get his body height down into that tackle. Ball comes out to Lyle, taken around the ankles by Holman, and Launceston again dish it out and make some more metres over the gain line through Kendall.
Really quick ball by Launceston. They get it over that clean out pretty quickly and get it that quick. Well, slow down now, but the last few phases have been really quick.
That's right. Yeah, slow down there because their halfback Peters was the one who received the first pass and went into the hit. So not there to dish it out, but you're right. They're looking good at this breakdown as they did for the first few phases of the match. Towie manages to eventually get Kendall to the ground, and Taroona don't really compete there. Now they look to go wide, deep to Chand. He goes wide, finds Vincent Bell. He loves it out on the wing, Bell, and they need to shut him down with some better tackling than that. Eventually get to him, and he knocks it on. Yeah, interesting call. So Taroona penalised again there for some ill discipline at the breakdown, but when they're under pressure, they're on the wrong side of the referee.
So just see how Launceston are playing that ball. They get that ball into the outside set and then they cut that ball all the way out to the wing. You know, I think maybe using those hands a bit more and letting those players draw in pass and actually maybe try and find some holes. As you said, you know, those wingers, you throw that long ball over, it's easier to drift onto that from a defensive point of view.
And the line out ends up being a win to Launceston, even though it was dropped. And they're very close to the line now, 3 metres out. Bit of a high one over the shoulder there of Isaac Anderson, but his body height was low. Briggs going in pretty high, and that one spills out. Bell needs to be taken down, and he is by Taroona. Low backs out of there. So offside play, and Lombard goes over, but he's into touch. Finding it hard to pick up the ref's mic at that distance on the other side of the field, but they go the quick tap. Taroona, though, are waiting, so they come wide again. Bell slips through easily this time, runs headfirst into the post, but spins around and scores. And Vincent Bell up against the first 5, the 5'8", Kazarine, and Rob Holmes is a shoe-in that situation. He's a big body. He knows where the try line is, and he gets through there. Andreessen got up way too quickly and slipped off him as well. So great work by Launceston to finally put the first points on the board in this match. And they've gone ahead to a 5-0 lead with the kick to come off the boot of, I'm not sure who that is who's kicking. Is it Harrigan, maybe?
Yeah, they set that ball wide. There's a missed tackle out there, and then they knew they had them on the back foot. You know, they got that penalty, took a quick tap, had a second penalty again for offside, and I suppose they were up against the ropes.
Yeah, oh, it's actually Lombard doing the kicking duties. Didn't recognise him. He took his headgear off. So, yeah, the missed tackles are with a killer through that whole series of all those passages of play for Taroona there. From Bell down that far wing when he made a run and players not making those first tackles, and then just repeatedly players not making those first tackles. So they've really got to lift that part of their game, Taroona, as they're now down 7-0, and Launceston are looking pretty good. Taroona, conversely, need to sort out their set piece at the line out. Kendall runs into some solid defence after slipping around the outside, the inside of Matthew Noble.
Definitely looks like a tactic of theirs, just to pick and go in their half from kick-off time.
Yes.
Get them go forward, and they're doing it well.
Yeah. And if they continue as they have the past few, they'll go 3 or 4 rucks and then they'll throw it wide. I might even see Dunbar with a bit of a kick from here, I reckon. Taroona have got no one deep on that opposite wing. Rob Holmes is in the line, flat as flat.
Or the side either.
Here he goes. Boom. There it is. Dewindham got across, though, and covers that on the full. So nice work by the fullback. Decides to go the kick. It's a very high one. It's a good one. But he can't quite get there through the traffic, and taken by TJ Peters. And a good sling little in the tackle there. And Launceston will look to ruck it again. So pick and drive's been strong for them so far, and they'll do it again. Anderson this time. Peters goes in and then pushes it out to Hourigan, who just slips around the tackle again of Kazarine. Kazarine waiting back there. There was no... Oh, the kick, I don't know.
It's gone dead.
Just not a bad option. Kazarine was being run down. Kazarine missed the tackle, but because there was no ruck that had formed, he was not offside, and that ball was passed back to him and it went straight to him. Just watch him here. Kazarine slipped off that tackle. This ball was passed back straight to him. He didn't realise he had Eves just, I think, around off his right-hand shoulder, and the kick had too much on it. So Kazarine just with a couple of kicks today, probably 3 times now he's miskicked it when he's, you know, good intentions, but again, the execution under pressure is tough.
I think Kazarine's finding himself outside their left, you know, on that left-hand wing a fair bit, and Launceston, I'm sure, have picked up that he's out there. He does struggle a bit defensively at times, and they found that, I suppose, that option and rutted him a few times and found some space.
Yeah, that's right. He certainly, you know, he's not the biggest of guys, and yeah, and they've targeted him a few times, but it's something. It's an area of the game that I've just certainly noticed a big improvement in across the season as well. You know, he's a young guy, and yeah, he's got room to improve there. Yeah. But yeah, he shot up way too quickly on that one. It's good intention to shoot up, but you've got to make those tackles stick. It's lucky that the ball ended up just coming straight back to him. All right, Dunbar now with the ball. He goes wide, and that one's going to hit the dirt.
That could work. And
go out. Yeah, nice chase from Parlay. This is an intriguing battle. They haven't had a lot of the ball really, but Noble and Parlay are, you know, both very fast, very strong wingers, and just really enjoying seeing these two out on this near side as that ball landed only 10 metres in front of us, and we get a really great view of that.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad option. I think Parlay probably wasn't quite ready for it, but it went over Noble's head, and there was definitely an opportunity there to pick it up on the run if he had picked it up early.
That's right, and the ball going out is not really much of a loss for Launceston, because Lowe, his throwing is just terrible today. He's only hit 1 target in about 6 line-outs. Hourigan throws the foot out. Towie knocks that one backwards, and Taroona now regather. But again, the counter-rucking here from Launceston is really good. Kind of lucky to get away with that one there, Taroona. Hourigan, whose loose boot saw that ball go downfield there, just caught himself on the wrong side of the ruck and off his feet, and ended up picking that one up as it came into him off Towie as it was knocked on. So Taroona just let off the hook again, but they're going to go for another line out and trust it. But Lowe, I don't know what's going on there. He's got to sort that out, and he's got to sort it out quickly, because his team need these line-out throws to hit the big, tall hands of James Holman, and he's not doing it.
They seem to be, you know, trying to 4 a fair bit, and he's just not quite executing that you know, further back of the line-out. Maybe they need to mix it up, hit the 2 a few times, or play a short ball in the front and just try and make it simple.
That's right. Get one under your belt. And they do, and he finds him, and yeah, it's straight as well, so nice work. And Kazarine goes with the kick, but the referee gets in the way. Interesting, tough decision there for Gardner to decide to give the scrum to Launceston. Yeah, I guess the ball's been kicked by Taroona. I thought it came off another player first, but before hitting him. But
yeah, I suppose interpretation is that you've given away possession by kicking it, therefore you give it to the opposition. Yep.
Yeah, I didn't quite pick it. I thought it had bounced off a Launceston player before it hit the referee, but
yeah, I didn't see. I thought it did it as well, but I'm not too sure exactly what happened there. I was watching the field, not the screen. Right. I prefer watching the field and see the big
looking
picture.
Where we were expecting that kick to go. Lombard not able to take that pass with a knock on, and ends up dishing that off to a scrum to Taroona. So they'll be happy with the scrum in an attacking position. I think Taroona, it definitely has been an area that they've been a bit more successful in than pulling that ball out of the line.
This might be the first scrum since Berger Brocklehurst has come on. So we'll see how that works. They dominated a fair bit in the beginning when they had Samu on there.
That's right.
And we'll see if Berger can uphold the same standard. He's an old wise head, this man, and there's no doubt he's knows a few tricks of the trade.
Like that one. It's don't engage if you don't want to. Bit of crowd in the background. It's not a bad crowd out here today. There's certainly a few on this side of the field as well, but not a whole heap. See that Launceston flag in the top of the screen. Right, Taroona. Quick ball out of the scrum there. Eves doesn't find Kazarine. Bird drops onto it. Slips through a gap, and he's got Andreessen. No, he doesn't. Can't get the ball off, and now it's been knocked on, and it falls to Tokamaata, who picks it up, and Launceston just looking for that scrappy ball. Peters decides to kick it, and there's no one back. Not sure where Dewington was going, but Lombard's got onto this one, and he's got pace too. I don't think they're going to catch him. And that is he's fallen short and dropped the ball. Just a little bit of contact there from Dewington might have been enough. Just watch again here on the replay.
Might have popped out as he hit the deck.
Yeah, I think it did. Dewington just dives and just takes him off. Yeah, just copped the ankle. And as he hit the ground, he's fallen on it and dropped it. So last-ditch attempt there by Ish Dewington with a little ankle tap. Saved that try for sure. But Taroona's back three there, not covering that side. And it was Peters who made the kick that time, but Dunbar was all over it.
Lovely run by Bird. He just sort of slipped through the centres and made made some space.
Yeah, absolutely. First line break we've really seen through the middle. Big push from Launceston. They've won that one too. Peters is dangerous from here. Dunbar hits it at speed. That's probably an extra roll there.
Yep.
He's going to be done. So hit the ground and rolled one too many times. And now he's got to give that ball up or he'll get marched another 10. He doesn't even realise, I don't think, yet that he hasn't been given the try. So good intent by him too. Hit that ball at pace, but just pulled down short. And Taroona really are reeling here now. The line-out's not working. Their scrum really destroyed on that last one. They're going to have to dig deep at the set piece if they're going to catch up to this Launceston team.
Well, the last line-out, they kept it nice and simple, got a quick ball in the front and got the ball out. Hopefully they can do the same again and get a bit of continuity. When they start to get those phases together, they actually, make some good meters. So we'll see how they go with that.
And get the ball to Holman this time. Dishes it out. Eves goes wide to Kazarine. He goes down Dreesen. This is probably a good option. Giving Leon a nice hit up the front. And Dunbar makes a good tackle. Stays down. Ball off to Ish Dewington, who gets through a gap. And he goes to throw that pass, which wasn't on. And it goes forward, and now the ball falls, and Parlay has it. Kick goes deep, and Noble now has the ball. And he kicks it back, so waiting for that ball. Finiasi Parlay juggles it, but hangs on. Gets past Noble this time. And now Launceston really take the ball into Taroona's half. They throw it wide. Vincent Bell goes with a kick. Unusual, the second rower taking the kick there, but it doesn't go out either. And Dewington just being a little bit lax in getting across to that one, expecting it to go out, and it didn't. And in the end, he has to try and pick that ball up and gets just pushed into touch.
I think Taroona probably just need a bit more patience. They made some good breaks. They found some space out wide. Throwing that ball as a 50-50 just doesn't help you. You need to just, set it up and get a ruck and get some more ball and get some more structure.
And you can hear the cheers there from the Taroona crowd on the referee's mic. Line out not straight there, so Launceston giving that one away. But yeah, you're right, Shaun. I think there's some of the Taroona players just need to treat this like any game of rugby. They're really trying to push it. Dewington didn't need to make that pass. It wasn't on, and he was well in traffic. And it would have been much better off just holding on to that one and hoping that his support was with him. Okay, better scrum this time from Taroona. Eves dishes it back to Kazarine, and he goes with a high kick. It's not going to go out, but it's a good one that takes it down near the 50. Lombard then throws it to Harrigan. Parlay's out there. He's quick off the mark. Bird just grabs him by the jersey and drags him to the ground. And the ball comes back inside and finds Scarth. They don't go low on him, and just terrible tackling from Taroona there to not take Scarth to ground. And now they've got numbers out on the right, and Isaac Anderson runs it into the 5 metres. He had 3 players outside him. He should have dished that one off. Ball comes back now, and Vincent Bell looking for his second try. Taroona now on the ropes.
Going back to that pick and go that they do very well.
Absolutely, Taroona need to be careful here, not to overstep. And someone is onto that one quickly, turning it over. So Taroona's defence on their line's actually been very good. In those close situations, Launceston haven't been able to get over the line, or they've been penalised a few times down there too for hanging on. So
Launceston get that pick and go. Oh, he hasn't put this out either, I don't think.
No, and knocked back by Lombard. We've got a whistle actually, yep. So must have been out when he touched it, and the ball's not across the plane. So ball being given to Taroona there. Lombard must have had a foot out when he tried to knock that back in, and the ball wasn't over the line. Yeah,
I was just saying, so Launceston, when they have that pick and go, they sometimes, I think, go a bit too quick for their support play. So, you know, they get that quick ball, they make good meters, but if they don't have that support with them, they leave themselves open to that steal.
And over the back there, just manages to find a hand of a Taroona player. So the line-out woes continue. Boom, Harrigan solidly hit there by Andreessen in the tackle. And now they come to Noble on the wing, who gets around the outside. Some nice stepping from him. Bit of a dodgy tackle attempt by Peters, who just fell down in front of Noble. It was due to the stepping of Noble there, I think. And a nice hit into that foray by Reece Watts. Ball goes to Kazarine, to Bird. He's got Andreessen that he wasn't expecting that pass, but it's gone backwards, and they managed to get it out to Holman. He gets through. He's got Holmes on the outside, but the cover defence is exceptional. Launceston just get there in huge numbers.
Just need to slow things down a little bit, Joe. Don't get ahead of themselves.
And Holman again reaching through a gap. Anderson needs to get out of there quickly. Ball now goes to Towie. Nice solid tackling by Launceston. They go back to the left. Holman's there. Dunbar left on the ground again. He's made a lot of tackles, Jack Dunbar. John Dunbar, sorry. And he's starting to feel it by the look of it. Ball comes to Towie again. Taroona need to be patient here.
Yep. Much better passage of play. If they can just keep their patience and not throw those 50-50s, it'll be really good for them, I think.
That's right. Eddington to Holman. Holman's very close. There's no one with him. They've got to get there quickly, and they do. Great work by Sam Lowe, I think, to seal that one off. Ball now comes wide to Eddington. The defensive line's excellent. And the ball slipped out. Chan gets onto it and boots it through. Noble gets back the quickest. And we've got a penalty advantage here, I think, for over the shoulder. Interesting, too. It might be for the push. No. Interesting, Kazarine was running back, and Parlay just gave him 2 hands in the back, which is also illegal. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Taroona, they started to get the phases just in front of us over here. They sent that ball down. They almost botched it in the senses by throwing a ball when someone wasn't ready for it. But again, you know, when they start to get through phases and they get some continuity going.
And Kazarine has just totally missed the missed touch again. Kick didn't go more than about 5 metres high.
Yeah, and definitely. I think they needed to slow things down and just make sure they get those phases. Yeah, just didn't quite execute that kick, did he? Maybe lifted his head a little bit.
Yeah, again, just, yep, not quite paying attention, not going for that high kick that he's done well. Bit of substitution out there in the Launceston back line. James Harrigan's come off. I think we'll see Yessi Alatimu come on the field. He's a very big lad, and he'll be looking to assert his dominance on the field. We're waiting for someone down in back play. Jordan Eddington from Taroona just coming back. And the line out will continue. So Taroona have had a good opportunity to have a chat about this line out. Lowe needs to get this throw on target, and he doesn't, but it goes over the beat. It's crooked again. So the woes
with that 4-ball, and that's the 4-ball is just not working today.
That's right. He's hit the 2 a couple of times successfully, but yeah, just can't make that 4-1 stick. And he's throwing it just lost all target there. So it's a real let off for Launceston when Taroona just can't make these line out stick, something that they traditionally do quite well as well. Not sure where they go with that, whether they look for another thrower, whether they've got another option, or whether they're just going to have to hope that it comes together. Great line out there from Launceston. Ball, Dunbar pushes it out to Chand, and a nice wrap, but ball's not on, and it falls to Holmes eventually after the knock-on. And Launceston now just handing that one over again. So some few knock-ons out there by Launceston in their back line. They've not really been trying to throw it anything too fancy, but just not hanging on to the ball. And Towie needs to be released. He is eventually. Ball goes to Holman. Great hit there, but they get it around to McConaughey. He goes to ground quickly, and Taroona get in and clean out and push it to James Holman again. 2 Taroona players down out here. They get back quickly. Finney Towie there still on his knees, and Ish Jewindon was down out wide. He's back on his feet though. And there's no one in support there. Great support by Rob Holmes in the end though to clean out, and Towie goes through a gap. Turns around, gets the ball back, and Eves dishes it out quickly. Kazarine to Harrison. Oh, high one there from Chand over the shoulder.
It's a 3rd high, I think, from Lonnie.
Yeah, they need to be careful
so far.
And now Andreessen running back into the traffic. Anderson tries to get his hands on it, but can't. And now it comes out wide. Noble on the outside here, getting up a little bit early. Bird slips the tackle, slips another one. He's a wily character, is Ollie Bird. Chand really didn't make a good enough attempt to roll out of there. Slowed that down very effectively. Ball goes around the back to Andreessen, to Towie. He's got Jewindon on his outside. He takes too slow, though, to make the pass. And they'll come back for the high tackle. We'll just see if there's any comments, because there's been a few.
Again, Taroona got some good phases going, but unfortunately they either seem to move the ball away from their support, or their support players are not quite, closing that gate. So they just got to be mindful they don't get those turnovers when, when they're trying to get that ball wide into space.
That's right, and they've opted for the points here. It's probably not a bad idea. Taroona got a few guys who are really sucking it in at the moment. Towie's on his knees, Holmes is on his knees, and yeah, the time, we're probably not looking a lot more time on the clock for this half. So 3 points would be a bit of a blessing for them going into half time. But it'll also soak up a few minutes, maybe a minute or a couple of minutes on the clock, just to give some of these tired players a bit of a chance to get a breather in case we have to restart for this half. So dead in front here, Kazarine. 35 metres out.
Often the hottest kicks of all when they're dead in front. There's no margin for error.
No, and the pressure's on. They really need these points, Taroona. Been Kazarine as well. As, kicking has not been exceptional. That one is, though. And that
really
is
nicely.
Beautiful kick to put his team on the scoreboard, and that takes us into half-time. So a very tight tussle, really. 7-3 to Launceston. Taroona have done a mountain of defending, particularly deep down in their half, whereas, I guess Launceston have really been able to soak up the attack from Taroona and haven't really looked too threatened, other than a couple of line breaks. But Taroona really sort of didn't make the most of those.
Yeah, I think Taroona have got down in the Lonnie half a fair bit, and when they have got down, they've either, thrown those 50-50s and not finished things off, or they haven't quite got that support and closed that gate, and Lonnie have either turned that ball over or it's spat out and they kicked it down the field. So if they can just try and have a bit more continuity and hang on to that ball and even slow things down a little bit, I'm sure they'll find some spaces, and we'll see how they maybe can do that in the second half.
Yeah, that's right. And so, as we run into half-time here, Launceston 7, Taroona 3. It's a close one, and we'll be looking forward to this second half. We'll be with that shortly, but don't go away, because this game's going to be a cracker in the second half. All right, we're back, and this is it. 40 minutes left of rugby in Tasmania this year. What a great kick. Towie comes in and knocks it on under pressure from Parley, who got up high. And the Tigers will have the first crack at attack this half. Peters comes in, goes a really long one. Dunbar pushes it out wide to Alatimu, who nearly loses it, but hangs on to it. Geez, some coming in on the side there from Chand, and that's knocked on. So we're going to come back to the original knock on from Towie, who leapt up to try and compete for that high ball under pressure from Finiasi Pale, who's not had a lot of opportunities this game.
I thought he'd just come on. I looked at his jersey. It looked as clean as anything. And I thought he had just come on at half time.
He came into everyone's attention last year, Pale. He played in the reserve grade grand final and scored, like, was best of field, and then was put on early in the grand final. He came on, and he also, I think he scored 2 tries in the grand final for Launceston as well, that they weren't able to win against Devonport last year. But here we go, nice scrum from Taroona, but still won by Launceston. Alatimu to Chand.
Good ball.
Oh, Tokama Ada in a huge gap. Where's the fullback in defence? And now Launceston on Taroona's 22. Push it across. So good solid start from Launceston. Taroona need to gather themselves because they're under pressure. Anderson not making any ground there. Peters now being directed to go to the left. Dunbar kicks it through. Taroona not covering back. And Lombard picks that up. And he scores. Just going to probably check. Yeah, looks good. Great kicking work out there from John Dunbar. He's just a magician. And he's made a great decision there. Again, no fullback from Taroona. Where's Jewindham? So far away, making that last ditch tackle and unable to get there. And oh, was it Bell making that try? So Vincent Bell with his second try. He's a try scoring machine as well.
Yeah, I think Jewindham just got caught on this closest side, thinking they were still going to come back this way, and then they changed direction, and that's why he was a bit slow to get across. But I think that first tackle probably should have been made. I'm not sure if I think might have been Noble out there.
Yeah.
That one-on-one, that's probably the deciding factor of getting that try.
Well, we're getting some waves over there on the camera from the Launceston crowd. Someone's on the phone, so with his probably someone at home saying, "You're on the telly, you're on the telly." Yep, keep doing it. You look great. All right, so the kick to come here from Lombard, minus the headgear. And
Beautiful
it's a
strike.
great strike too, and it's good. So not the start Taroona would have been looking for, and Launceston now will have their tails up with a pretty good 11-point lead.
Yeah, they started that second half strong. Got their, they got straight down there, had a good crack, scored some points, and now they come back. And like you said, they got their tails up. When they get their tails up, they're hard to stop. So, for the sake of the game, we hope it doesn't turn it into one-way traffic. But once they're confident, they're a force to be reckoned with.
That's right. Nice little kick there from Craig Gardner. The end-over-end ball off the field. Nice high one there from Kazarine. There'll be some pressure on Pale. Noble gets there, and he goes to ground. But they need someone back on that far wing, Taroona.
I've got no doubt they're going to play field position and probably come down this side.
That's right. Dunbar goes with a big one, gets it way over the head of Holmes. It's a huge roost with the torpedo. You don't see it that often.
I think
Holmes picks it up.
That might be a regular occurrence in this half.
Holmes picks that one up and well tackled by Lombard. Support's not there though, and it's been turned over.
Yeah, Launceston playing with the breeze in the second half and down towards this corner down here. Definitely, it's a kicking corner, and I've got no doubt that Dunbar is going to use that in the second half.
Absolutely, and he's a great kicker of the ball, technically as well as strategically. Yeah. He does a great job. We've seen already he's kicked. They've scored off a kick that he put through behind Taroona. And if Taroona's outside backs, the back three don't stay a bit deeper and try and cover that, then they're going to be turning around all day chasing those balls back. conversely too, if they do stay back, we know that he'll pass and use that to his advantage. Anyway, Taroona end up managing to win that line out from Launceston's throw. Ball goes back to Kazarine, and he's going to land that close to our tent. No, it's not out. It is out. Knocked out by Peters. So Peters could have left that one and given his team the throw, but instead he tried to keep that in play. Good.
Well, I think he probably thought
rugby.
about the fact that, you know, Taroona's lineouts haven't been so great. He might as well take the risk, have a crack.
Right.
If he gets it out wide, they get an opportunity to attack. If they don't, you know, there's a potential they might get this ball back now.
Absolutely.
From lineout time.
Yep.
Oh, it's going to be a scrum. Sorry, they've taken us a knock-on over the line.
Right. Yep. So that's a bit of fortune there for Taroona, I think, given the line-out struggles that they've been having. See if their scrum can hold up under pressure from Launceston, who are really got their tails up now, particularly their big fellas.
Solid scrum from Taroona.
And nice work in the end to get that ball out. Just looking inside. Good run there from Holmes, but there's not a lot of support close. Eventually Eves gets there, and Towie runs into a very solid wall of Launceston. And a good kick there over the back there, finds the ground. Tokama'ata, though, gets across and runs into the contact from Noble and Bird. And his team arrives in support.
A really good chase by Noble and Bird. You know, getting up in their face and really making sure they close him down. Just kept him down. Didn't really give him time to be able to kick or get rid of that ball.
That's right. He's looking to step, but they, just kept in close. And this one's gone straight down the throat of Jewindham. It's a nice deep kick, but he was back very far. He's going to look to run through here. Oh, Chan goes high again.
It's a fourth one.
Geez, no arm out on that one. Very surprised. I think the assistant referee might have just called.
Yep.
And through Eves goes. He needs to just take some time. Finds McConaughey. Ball now comes out to Holman. He pushes it wide. And Taroona get around the outside now. Jewindham's through here. He's got some support, and he finds Rob Holmes, who ducks through, gives it off to Reece Watts, and Taroona finally put a 5-pointer on through some great hands, starting with James Holman, who always right here makes the best decisions. Excellent work. Look at Reece Watts there in the number 8, trailing. Just good stepping. Oh, Jewindham with that pass. And a good line inside there from Rob Holmes too. Puts Reece Watts over.
I think the difference there for them, Deon, was the fact that, you know, that first half, the support play probably wasn't there. And the second half now, they've had a crack. They've gone with, you know, gone wide, but they've supported. You can see they had an extra ball outside, they had an inside ball, they had another inside ball. So making sure they got that support with them makes a huge difference. And that's normally how they play their rugby. They play wide, expansive rugby, very good at supporting. Didn't quite play that in the first half, and hopefully the second half they can keep doing that.
Yeah, that's right. And good decision making, like the direction in there from Eves and Holman. Like you see James Holman come in as first receiver from Taroona in broken play like that more often than anybody else. He gets into positions where he is creating a threat when he gets the ball, and oppositions respect that with him as well. They know he's going to slip through a gap, or if you don't get in his face, he'll run with the ball.
Yeah, and he's got good catch and pass skills. So, you know, he gets in a position where, like you say, he's a threat. They have to take him. They have to mark him. If they don't mark him, he uses it. And if they mark him, then he uses it. If they don't mark him, then he just has a run, and he's a hard man to bring down.
Yeah, so great, good comeback there from Taroona.
Lovely strike by Kazarine.
Yes, so 4 points back in it now. Substitutions have happened across the board. I can see a number of substitutions on the field for Taroona. Callum Blowfield's on. I think Rob Holmes is off. Is that going to go 10?
Yeah, that's gone 10 easy.
No, taken before the 10. Parlay just inside the 10 when he put his hands on it. Just was good high angle on our camera there, was able to show that one. So just before it hit the 10, but yeah, Blowfield's on the field. I can also see Rickard Daniel. Oh, so close. Gardner was like standing on the 10-metre line too, in a great position to see it, but it was close. It was a great leap from Parlay too over there to get his hands on it.
I thought it had gone over must have got held up a little bit.
That's right. Finney Towie is the other off for Taroona, replaced by Rickard Daniel. Can't see any other changes for Launceston. It'll look like there are still
A good attacking opportunity here. They obviously got both sides and they got space out the back as well.
Ball goes to Andreessen. Defence is just waiting for him, but they didn't get up quickly, which allows Taroona to get on the front foot. Watts has gone on his own here, though. And Noble got in quickly, I think, to support him. A nice little chip over the back there from Eves. Sees Tokamaata take the ball, and he's tackled by Eddington really close to the line. Manages to stay in. And Peters makes the kick himself, puts it into touch, and gets his team outside their 22, about 30 metres out.
And again, they put that kick through on Tokamaata, and the Taroona players that got up, they took the space, they really shut him down. They didn't give him any options other than to, pick it up and take the tackle.
That's really important with guys like Tokamaata's he's got a vicious step on him. He's got a lot of tape on that right knee, though. I don't know if that's sort of going to reduce his abilities or not, but he's an outstanding player. Taroona get a straight throw, but missed their target, so they win it. Ball goes to Daniel. He loves a run. Goes through the first one, shoves off the second one, and that one's knocked on there by Anderson. Not been spotted, though. Taroona managed to recover and push it out. Kazarine now. Holman goes to Watts.
Taroona seems to have got a second wind here. They're definitely, picked up and kicked a gear, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Good tackling there by Peters and Kendall. Oh, nowhere to go there for Bird. He manages to get himself to ground, though. And Lyle struggling to roll away. Ball comes back to Daniel. Bustles through. Peters hangs on. And they go now to another pod. Pushes it out. Offside call here. We can hear on the referee mic. So a free shot at it here for Taroona. That ball kicked in deep. Tokamaata covers it nicely. So we'll come back. And
when they get those offside advantages, I think it'd be really nice to see them just hang on to that ball rather than kick it away. I know there's obviously a 50-50 in the kicking away, but just keep that ball and try and get through some more phases and see if they can find some holes.
That's right. There's no one chasing in that situation. Nothing really on, but they're going to kick for point. They're going to probably go for 3 points here, Taroona. Right in front of the posts on the 22.
Good option.
Yes. It's a pretty good opportunity here again for Kazarine to kick his team closer. And a little bit of a momentum swing. It just seems out there at the moment, Taroona have got a bit more confidence in attack with the ball in hand. And Launceston just standing off a little bit. They had their defence hasn't been up in the faces of Taroona in those last few passages of play.
Yeah, I think the way they're attacking the ball a lot harder. They're changing the angles, where they're making some holes, and they get a bit more go forward. And when they get that go forward, now they're making better decisions in their execution as well.
The kick's good, and it's 1 point in it. So don't go away. 25 minutes, 26 minutes left. Got another sub out here. So Launceston, we will see number 6, Braden Dorr, leave the field, replaced by the number 21 in the bright blue headgear. I think that's Mackenzie Cooper. It is. And the kick, waiting for a ball to come. And they're going to grab one from the middle, but they really need to wait for Simeone Tokamaata to get back onto the field. He's way off the field now, down in back play. We're going to make him run 50 metres to kick? No. All right, Dunbar goes long. It's a good kick. If they let that go deep, no. Blowfield picks it up. He likes a run and he likes some contact. He's taken in a good tackle out there by Tom Kendall. And running across field puts his team in a bit of peril in that situation right in front of the posts. Eves dishes it off to Andreessen, who gets nowhere, and the defence is up very quickly. Nice work there from Jamie Walters in the number 18. And this time, Kazarine gets back into a place to kick it, and he manages to put it out, but really only just outside the 22. which gives Launceston a really nice platform from which to launch an attack.
Yeah, other than that first try right at the beginning of the second half, it's been all Taroona for the last, sort of 10 minutes. So
that's right. Oh, and that ball's been lost, but going, called forward. I thought I heard the referee say backwards, but no, deemed forwards. So lucky there. Rotten bounce. Sam Lowe was waiting for that one, and it bounced away from him. And Launceston had regathered that one, so.
Don't let him through. Come on me.
Gotta love the psychology around the front rows here.
Fine. Set.
Okay, Eves with the put in, waiting for it to be steady. It's moving still. And now he goes. Will he get this ball out? It's a good drive from Launceston. Well locked up there by Taroona. Kazarine gets it under some pressure. He kicks it long, but straight to Tokama'ata, and the chasers are not with him. Andreessen doesn't get his body height down enough to stop Tokama'ata, but at least put a bit of pressure on. And Taroona, through Jordan Eddington, who's having a great match today, and Scott Eves turn that one over.
Yeah, I thought there might be trouble there. Kick it straight down his throat. You definitely want to make sure you find some turf when you kick those sorts of kicks, but it worked out for them. They weren't too quick on the ball, and they got a turnover. And now, Kazarine obviously finds his touch. He probably could have found a bit more up the line there, but let's see if they can win this line out.
Bit nervous after some shaky first start kicks, I think. He wanted to make sure of that one. He's missed it a few times and really munted a few of his kicks, I think. So just Taroona needs to get his team back in it.
That looks like a massive gap between the
huge gap between the two lines. It's a nice straight one. Lands on the chest of Reece Watts. And Taroona take that one forward. And they find on that right wing, Matthew Noble. He's chipped one through, but he's found Peters. And he's just overcooked it, so Peters is quick enough to call the mark on that one. And he kicks long. He hasn't found touch, though. Watts is back there, not able to gather. And he finds Dewindham inside him. Support hasn't quite got there with Dewindham. Now he finds them on the far side. But Bird decides to go back the other way and then straightens up through the middle, cops a hand over the head. And some good support play there by Taroona. They want to get this out quickly, though, here before the counter ruck comes. Holman's there. He's got McConaughey outside him. Oh, not rolling away there, Launceston, but the ball must be clear as it is. Now Kazarine into some space. He's got Noble. These two guys have got some pace. He kicks again, though. It's just that not necessarily the right decision, but the pressure's on. Noble's very close, but Parlay has grounded that one over the line. He didn't take it back in, though, so it's a line dropout. How's the speed from Noble to compete there? Unbelievable.
Yeah, I thought he was actually out of the race, and then all of a sudden he just arrived from nowhere.
I really wish that Kazarine had kept that in hand and looked for Noble on the right, his right, but
definitely probably should have stepped off the left, gone back on the right-hand side and tried to put him into some space.
That's right. You can see he's tried that move before as well, so obviously it's something that they feel is a good option for them. Taroona now moving forward. Ball comes to Andreessen. He'll hit it into the line. Boom. Great hit there by Lombard to take him to ground. And Brocklehurst now not quite ready for that one behind the play, but hits it up. Taroona now settling. Eddington, he just has his habit of going across field in that middle, and that one's been ripped out. So penalty advantage here to Taroona. If they don't score from this one, they got 3 points, and we've got a yellow card, right? So warnings there, Kendall's off, and Taroona will probably take a shot here and take the lead. Professional foul.
He's got a bit of a breeze to contend with. He's probably got the distance, but I'm just concerned if he puts on too much height in it, it might get held up in the breeze.
That's right. And the breeze, it's a pretty light breeze. It's hard to tell in here. We've got some good shelter in our tent. But yeah, just a light breeze blowing sort of straight down from the north.
I think out of hand, he hasn't really hasn't kicked that well towards the line and that kind of stuff. But the 2 or 3 times he's kicked off the tee, he's struck it pretty well. But as I think one of the things that people don't realise is as you kick it up towards those posts, that breeze comes and hits you about halfway up the post, and I'm just concerned it might get held up there. But
Yeah,
Get
it's
his
the
head
gusts.
down.
You can
Yeah.
feel those gusts every now and then that, he's going to have to contend with.
Oh, he struck it well.
Just away
pushed
to the
it
left,
out.
though, yeah.
22.
So we'll come back for the 22. So a bit of a let-off there for Launceston, but still a close one, and they're now a man down. Tom Kendall, their number 7, who's been a really, really solid defender and everywhere today. They're going to miss him for the next 10. Can Taroona capitalise on that?
Got no doubt Dunbar's going to go as long as he can.
He will, and Taroona have not got really many players back. No, he goes long. It's a wobbly one, though. And Daniel, he's going to get a head of steam up here. Look at him go. And well tackled by Lombard there. Just grabbed that one boot. Yeah, great sounds there. Launceston defensive line, making sure they're not offside. They're a little bit offside on this side of the ruck, though. Oh dear, look out! The pass has gone well astray. Bird gets back to wrap it up, and he's got some space here. He finds Daniel, who's got Watts, and a nice draw and feed. Well done by Blowfield to not go out, and he eventually gets that ball back inches from the line underneath our camera. Low now, hitting it into contact. Harrison gets there. Nearly lost it, did the Penguins. Bird looks for a gap, probing. And they go for a short one here. Daniel taken by Lyle in a nice tackle. Watts now hitting it in. He's been very, very good this half as Reece Watts. Ball comes now. Brocklehurst wanted to give it, but no one wanted it. So he hangs on. Ball comes out now. Watts still hasn't gotten up. The Buffalo has a nice little run here, but they don't get on him quickly enough. Oh, and they do get there eventually. Eves dishes a little switch move, and Jordan Eddington, he loves that step. Great defence coming across there from Launceston. And Eves now goes really wide to Jewindham. He steps back inside, though. He had Noble on his outside. Just didn't have quite the right angle to get there. Eves has a look that way and eventually finds McConaughey, but they're way behind the gain line and they're in trouble now, Taroona. They need to squeeze that one back, and they do, and they'll resettle now. 15 metres out. James Holman.
No red. Yeah, it's there.
Cooper did a good job to run out of the way there. Jewindham dishes off, finds Andreessen. There's not a lot of support close by. Now there is.
Go out, red. Get out, that way. Good.
And Taroona really pushing in here now, close. They've almost hit the 5 metre line. Big hit there on Walters, rolling back. Looks like it hit him right on the chest. But this one's turned over. Isaac Anderson pilfering that ball. James Holman not releasing. Good continuity there from Taroona.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
again, I think they were just rushing it a little bit each time. They needed to just be able to settle. Again, that situation just running across field slightly ended up making the tackle too solid.
Yeah, I think running across field a little bit. I'd also like to see Noah Kazri maybe just straighten up a bit. He sort of has a bit of a drift as he receives the ball, and a few times he's had a forward actually almost hit him in the shoulder because he isn't straightening. I think if they could just straighten up a bit more, they can hit some lines, hit some holes, that'd be good. But they getting some good offloads away, keeping that ball going, which is keeping Launceston on their toes.
Yeah, it's been interesting the last couple of weeks. Like Noah has been really proactive in running out the line with the ball. He's a little bit apprehensive today, I think. Okay, that ball's taken nicely, and Peters dishes it out to Dunbar. Alatimu, Chand, taken to ground, and they'll nearly stolen. Got it back quickly, though. Defence needs to get across. Tokama'ata with the chip. Who's going to cover? Oh, the ball. I don't know what Jordan Eddington was doing there. Just put his hands up in the air. Didn't really attack that ball. I don't think he can see it. And the quick ball from Launceston out to the left now. Dunbar hangs on. He kicks it through. There's some cover defence here, though. Jewindham gets there and kicks it. Thought he might have kicked a bit longer there, but he gets it out. He finds the safety of touch. And that time the kick of Dunbar was not as threatening as he has previously.
Stop it.
Yeah, it's interesting that they kicked that ball. They had really good numbers out there. They had some really quick ball. They had Taroona on the back foot. So they probably just needed to just straighten up and just hit some space.
Substitution there for Taroona. Michael Smith coming onto the front row. Matthew Brocklehurst having a rest.
Clear.
Okay, line out throw. Brady goes to the front to Lyle. They just get their hand on it. Oh, there's the big fella, Harrison Johnson, out on the field. There's a big pass. And some good hands out there. However, Vincent Bell can't gather that one. It was the pressure in the defence there. I think Blowfield shot up on Lombard, and he tried to push that pass. And the supporters having a good crack at Kyle Lombard there, getting in his head, messing with him. And one of his teammates just saying, don't listen to them. It's the Glenorchy crowd on our right. Oh, yeah, and Ben Louis coming onto the field in the midfield there too. So pretty epic-looking centre pairing out there for Launceston of Yessi Alatimu and Ben Louis, the big fellas. 1 point in it, 15 to go or less. Taroona need to get this one out, and they do. Kazarine runs across, gives it to Andreessen, but there's nobody with him. He's really in trouble. Luckily, I think it was Dunbar over the top of that ball, just lost his weight. And that one's ended up being picked up by Rickard Daniel, who's made a good 15 metres.
I think Taroona might have dodged a bullet at scrum time there. Looked like there was a collapse on this closest side, but they played on.
That's right, Michael Smith went down onto one knee. And the kick comes through. And Tokumaada puts it back down. Gets it out just shy of the halfway line. And this game could be anyone's. Seesawing from one end to the other. Taroona certainly looked better with the ball in hand this half for the majority, but this Launceston defensive line's pretty tough to crack. And it's all about whether Taroona can be patient enough to just keep plugging away and making
definitely.
metre after metre.
I definitely think patience is going to be the key. We talked about that a bit in the first half, and they've done it a bit in the second half, but I think, just making sure that they don't throw those 50-50s. They've got to support their players. Small steps, baby steps.
Oh,
Get in there.
Ball dropped in there by Reece Watts, hitting in that contact.
Is that an offload or was it a drop ball?
I think he just ran into contact with the ball out in front and it just popped out.
Interesting to see what they do here at scrum time. I think they can obviously pin this corner down here. I know that with Dunbar's got as we said, he's got a real good kicking game. But also, when you've got a centre pairing like that, every time they've got the ball out of the centres, they've centred really wide. It'd be good to see maybe them use a bit of an alternative tactic, maybe hit it up with Ben Louis or someone like that, maybe at a wider channel.
Yeah, that's right. Again, Taroona winger on this side. Blowfield's not playing back very deep. He's really only 5 metres behind his centres, and the kick will easily get over his head if they come that way. But if he's playing any deeper, those outsider like Ben Louis there will be looking to make some good metres. Scrum not settled there. Taroona just driving past the mark, and so they go quickly. Ball comes wide to Louis, and it's going to pop into the hands of Bird, who can't take it. So Blowfield fends one off. He needs to get into ground there, though. Good solid hit from Louis, who needs to release. And a high ball out. Dewindham's going to be very close to the sideline. They managed to keep that in, and Holman gets over the top of it. Alatimu there. Oh, we got a messy ruck here. Taroona might lose it. No, they managed to get that. Michael Smith, some good hands to manage to hang on to that one with a spinning catch. And Taroona really want to look to settle here now. They're kind of in this frantic motions here, Taroona, where every player who gets the ball is trying to break through and score a try. James Holman takes it into contact, and now the ball goes to Rickard Daniel. Nice tackling. Ball gets out to Blowfield. He needs to get away from that line. He does. And that number 4, Vincent Bell there, just not really rolling out of the way. Down on his back there, holding his ribs, but Taroona now really pushing into this 22. Ball goes wide. Kazarine running at the line. Bird again switches back inside. Runs into Joe Brady. Don't know what he was standing out in that centre line for, and they've lost it. So just options out there for Taroona. They were doing really well with the ball, keeping it in, and they lost patience and decided to try and throw it wide when nothing was on. And then lose it at the first tackle. Hit the ball out in their backs.
Breezer's picked up down towards us closest corner yard. But no doubt he'll bang it along.
Yeah. Jewindham's on the other side too. Looking like Dunbar's going to kick towards the camera, but Jewindham hasn't got across yet. And he'll put that one out pretty safely.
Great touch finder.
Great touch finder. It's a great kick. Red will have a substitution. And a couple of players. Parbury coming on. And Fanguna, I think. Vincent Bell going off. All right, the throw coming. Fanguna. And it's met nicely in the air. They go to Dunbar. He throws a flat one to Alatimu above his head. And Ben Louis can't take that. Oh, head contact from Ben Louis on Bird. You see a referee's arm go out. Ollie Bird's had an awesome half. He's just causing some headaches for Launceston. He's so unpredictable. And Watts gets to ground. Might have just been an advantage for the knock-on. Daniel loves getting his hands on the ball.
Much better line by Kazarine there. He squared up, and that meant there was space outside of him, which was awesome to see.
And there's another one. I saw Reece Watts after that knock-on a little while ago having a conversation with, and that's coming through in the offside channel. Nice little kick through here. That's a great kick. That's a great kick. Well played by Lombard down there just to not contact that before it went out. But really good kick there from Kazarine. Just those couple of phases before, as you said, just the lines that he was running were better. And it just in that situation, the defence held off a little bit after watching him for those last few. And he was able to find a little bit of space and grubber that ball down into that spot. Gives his team a really great opportunity. I thought Harrison Johnson was lucky to not get penalised. He ran straight back through the halfback's passing line coming to get back onside. Really needed to be running the other side of that ruck. Easy win. Alatimu goes an easy fend there. And well met in the midfield though. Daniel and Andreessen, he's a big fella, is Yessi Alatimu. Now the ball comes to Dunbar and he kicks long. Blowfield's covered it nicely. Got back nice and deep. Links up with Jewindham in the midfield and then a bit of a wrap.
They got some space out
Aidan Cannell is now on the field. Ben Louis needs to be careful here. He's throwing himself into tackles without any attempt to actually grab the player. And he's already made head contact with Ollie Bird earlier that he managed to escape and get away with.
Yeah, he's flying. He's not slowing his feet into contact, so he doesn't really have much control of the way in which he hits the player.
And then he just grabs the legs and tips Jewindham while he's close to the ground there. He's really got to start paying attention to the safety of the opposition. Rickard Daniel says, yeah, let's not have this cross-field running business. I'll straighten up.
Yep. Yeah, two players there just running sideways, not sure who to pass to, but they just got to square up and straighten a bit more. I think everyone's moving a bit sideways there.
Yeah, it's been the story of their day in many ways. When they are set, and again, Eddington's doing it again here. So he's running across field. At least he's straightened up in contact. But it makes it very hard for your support players to drive forward on you when you're going to run like that. And then we've got Harrison showing them how to run straight. Cannell also doing the same, but no one with him. They get there eventually. Just tiring Taroona, getting into these contact situations. I want to take some time here. Just rushing it, I think.
Yeah, that's good. Slowed it down a little bit, got a bit more structure. That's what they need. Just keep that structure. Don't rush things too much.
Another penalty. Hands were on the ground there, so Scarf. And I thought Scarf
surely will take the three here. And they do.
And we'll have some words here. Let's have a listen.
Right, it's a real trend down here now. All right, next one's going to go. All right, next ruck or offside down the 10's going to go. Yeah.
Reckon we play it both ways?
Yeah.
Interesting to say it's got to go both ways. They've got the ball, and you're the ones with the repeated infringements. So,
and we talked in the first half, Deon. Yeah. We said if Taroona can get down there, they can keep those phases, keep the structure, make sure they're organised. They don't have to play quick ball, but they just got to make sure they keep their organisation. They're either going to find space or they're going to get penalty, and that's what they've done again when they've got down there.
Exactly. Yep. It was patience. I felt they were still rushing a little bit. Eves is just trying to get that ball out. I know he's had trouble with the counter rucking.
Well, they've got to throw an extra player in there and make sure they secure that.
That's right.
And they can have that extra bit of time.
And, yeah, Taroona hit the lead. And there's less than probably 5 to go. A little bit of rain falling at the moment. So ball may get a little bit slippery. Who would have thought
2 points in it
even a month ago that Taroona might have been in this situation after finishing 4th on the ladder with 3-4 minutes to go in the grand final, that they're going to be up.
Taroona got to be careful not to give away a penalty in their own half. I think with the breeze at the moment, anywhere in their own half, I've got no doubt Dunbar can have a crack at it. So they've got to make sure they're very disciplined.
Oh, great contact in the air there. In the air. And that ball's won by Parley. They've dished it out. Their captain, Callum Lyle, hits it up. Launceston now. Daniel needs to get onside. Mackenzie Cooper pushing forward. Launceston are going to throw everything at it. Here it comes. Dunbar. He goes wide. Finds Tokama Ada. Running back inside. Skip through 3 tackles.
Great
Dishes
ball.
it out to Parley. Blowfield gets in. It's knocked on in the tackle. No referee's arm out there, though.
I think it might have actually come off a Taroona player coming back onside.
And Tanaka Harrison runs that ball in. They're all over it there, Launceston. Has he got it back? He has. Yeah, I'm not sure how that ball was knocked on by, not knocked on by Parley, but yeah, must have been ripped out. Now,
This could be a
Canal.
turnover.
Ball goes deep. And a nice touch finder there. Gets his team a little bit of breathing space from Kazarine. But Launceston, they're going to throw everything at this, and Taroona really going to have to do something here special to hold them out with only 2 minutes, 2.5 to go. Oh, and the ball's lost there by Launceston. McConaughey gets his hands on it and knocks it backwards, and Kazarine comes in to support. Eddington now with Rickard Daniel in support.
Taroona have got to make sure they close their gates and get their players over that ball, otherwise there's potentially going to be a turnover.
And there's some space out wide. They want to kick it long here. Cops one. Really lazy tackling there from Callum Lyle, and he's let Taroona off the hook with that high tackle.
That's a fifth one, I think, from
Yeah, that
Launceston
was
this
just
game.
a lazy slip up over the top. But they're going to throw it wide here.
Well, they're
Nice
taking time,
bump
aren't
off by
they?
Andrew. Oh, dropped
The
it.
longer they run,
That's
the more
right, the
time
longer
they
they
take
run.
up, and they soak up the clock.
And they can take some time over here. But, yeah, lazy work from Callum Lyle. It's probably a bit harsh to call it lazy. The dude's just played, 80 minutes of rugby, and he's throwing everything at it. But it was just that execution at the end, really, that didn't get his body height down to make that tackle. Kazarine, you can see he knows what's
Taking
going
his
on.
time.
Take a lot of time here. They'll be able to kick this one down, and
He's young, but he's done this before.
he's done this before. He knows
what he's
rugby.
doing.
He's been doing it for a
He's
long time.
got a good brain on him, this young man.
He's got to make touch though. And the kick. Again, he's kicked a shocker. And I keep calling him Jack. John Dunbar almost able to get his hands onto that one. And the substitution here will just see this Taroona really desperate if they want to win this game. They need to win this line out and maintain possession. Jordan Eddington comes from the field, had a great game. Launceston will compete. Oh, they've missed it again, but just won by Taroona. And we've got an arm out here too. I think Holman must have copped the high tackle.
Go on the back of the head.
He's looking up at the referee going, but the arm's out. And there's another penalty. We've had the warning for the repeated.
Oh, it's an offside.
We're going for offside as well.
2 offences, maybe.
Surprised that after that warning before for repeated penalties, an offside is definitely within that repeated infringements. Cazarene's missed it, giving Launceston that opportunity, and Lombard decides to go for a run. Cazarene gets him, and now the ball comes out. Parlay, they want to get in front of him and not give him some room. He throws the pass wide. Harrison gets it out. Fitz and Bell. Aidan Cannell's got to run back onto this and does so. And he's well supported by Dewindham. Launceston coming over there, putting some hands on the ball, but managed to get away with it. Blowfield now battling at the bottom of the ruck. Ooh, gee. So great work there by TJ Peters.
I thought Launceston made about the wrong decision to kick that down and chase it, obviously trying to get out of the area, but giving that ball up was a risky option.
So Taroona player down in the middle of the field. Someone in some very white gear. Not sure who that is. But getting long, someone in a number 20. Maybe, not sure who that is. The number 20? Cody Hall? No, I don't
Cody
think.
Hall.
Oh, maybe
Cody came on just at
yeah,
that
right.
last line out. He came on.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's him.
He's in
down
a pretty
back
clean
row.
jersey. Yeah, that is him. Yeah, Cody Hall.
1 minute of rugby and he's down. Give everyone an opportunity to have a breather, but Launceston, again, Cazarene's kick just needed to get that ball out. And Cody Hall.
It could be a knee.
Yeah, being taken off. He was worried about messing up his pretty face coming into this game, but I had a chat with him about that earlier, but he's now not messed that up, but that leg of his. And Launceston, one last shot at it. I think John Dunbar is going to give Noah Cazarene a lesson in how to kick here. He'll make sure this one goes out. And he does, and it's going to come down to this. Season 2022, Taroona, 2 points in the lead. Launceston with an attacking line out. Their lineouts have been pretty good, though this second half they've missed a few. And they find Cooper. Here we go. Launceston, they throw it wide. It's where they've been dangerous. Ben Louis. Ollie Bird gets up and shuts that play down. Ball goes to ground. And Taroona now illegally stealing there.
Surely
and
we'll go for
whoa,
a
here we go, coming in on the side. Kyle Lombard, does he have the legs here?
Surely.
He's coming across. You can see him in the number 14 with his hand up.
Can't not go for the
He's
three.
saying, let's do it. Where's the captain? And he opts for the shot. He kicked one from out by the sideline earlier. He's got the legs. Well, does he? As the tired 85 minutes of rugby. It's going to come down to a penalty shot. I'd say after the final time.
40 seconds.
40 seconds.
So that'll be game.
It'll be game after he kicks it.
Nothing like a cliffhanger.
And John Dunbar's decided he's taking the kick. Or maybe Lyle has decided that Dunbar will take the kick. Everyone's heart's in their throats right now. I know mine is.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Dunbar for the win. Gets behind it. I think he's pushed it over.
He's kicked it.
He has.
He's kicked it.
And
That's
that
it.
is the match. And Launceston win after the final buzzer. Come from behind for a 1 point win. What a match. What an epic grand final. What a season decider. Launceston, they've had the season for themselves on top the whole year. They've looked the goods. They couldn't quite keep their noses in front. And Taroona managed to steal the lead with 5-10 minutes to go, but unable to hold on. And in the end, Launceston, through a penalty goal to John Dunbar, come away with a 1 point win. What a famous grand final. What a close one. Unbelievable scenes.
I'm speechless. I think Dunbar's controlled the game really well today. You know, first half, second half, his kicking was on point. He definitely controlled that game, and you know, for him to have that kick at the end to win it is probably a reflection of how well he's actually controlled this game from start to finish.
Absolutely, very solid decision maker, and yeah, he really did dictate when his team had possession at least. Which I'd say, I don't know, particularly that second half, Taroona had the majority of possession. They had probably a passage of 25 minutes, even maybe up to 30 minutes in the first half, Taroona, where they really had possession as well. But they just weren't able to capitalise. They rushed a little bit and, yeah, just lacked a little bit of patience that they needed. And when in that second half, they used the ball a bit more slowly and a bit more progressively, they were able to put those points on the board through, you know, a couple of exciting opportunities. But in the end, just I think the defence of Launceston really shone today. They didn't let many through. They were consistent. They didn't commit to the breakdown too many, and just played a really nice, easy game of rugby where they didn't really look stressed at any point in time.
And what a game it was.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, everybody, thanks for watching. I'm sure you're all switching off now, having seen the final score there, but you read it right. Launceston 17, Taroona 16, and that was a very, very close match, won by a penalty goal after full time, kicked by John Dunbar from Launceston to put his team to that score. So thanks a lot, Shaun, for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. It's been great.
And stay with us though, everybody, because we'll have our presentations right in front of us, and they'll be on shortly. But we'll cut to a little bit of a break while we get set up and we give our medals and best player and referees awards out very shortly.
free for those that wish to stay there.
Oh, jeez.
No, this is just.
I don't know. Hey, have you got the... Sorry. I was... Oh, right there. Thanks. Sorry, everybody, if you can hear me.
Thank you, everyone, for coming along. I don't know how everyone's is doing after that. Yeah, I've got to put it close to my mouth. Thanks, 70. Can I just start by everyone giving a round of applause to both teams? That was an unbelievable game. I'm sure the tightest grand final I can ever remember seeing. Awesome stuff. Just thanks to everyone for coming from around the state. I know there's people from obviously the Launceston troops, but further afield for the women's game earlier. Thanks everyone for coming on such a beautiful Tasmanian afternoon. Just start by handing out a few of our other trophies for the year before we get to the grand final. We'll just start with the under 17 competition champions, and this year that was won by Taroona. I believe there's some guys to come up and get the trophy. Ed Nordstrom from Taroona. Well done, Ed. The Boss Walker Trophy is awarded to the club displaying the values of rugby and sportsmanship, sportspersonship. This year it's been awarded to Burnie Club. Almost as big as you. Next we have the George Wilson Award. It's given to the Tasmanian Volunteer of the Year, and this year it's been awarded to Shaun Killian. Well done, Shaun. So those aren't aware, Shaun is the junior state head coach and has been instrumental in our state teams having a great year and some great tours abroad. Well done, Shaun. As we say every game, match officials. Another great game today. Both teams played amazing rugby and duly officiated by our match officials. So I'd like to first call up our centre match official, Craig Gardner. Supporting Craig, the assistant referees, we have Ross Neal, Phil Rogers and Jerry Horch. In a game like that, there were many people that could have been selected as player of the game. Today, however, TJ Peters from Launceston.
I don't want to make this about me, but this trophy is just as much mine as it is my whole team. It's an honour to play this game with you boys. Today's really special for me. I lost a mate over last weekend, and today is for him, but also for our friends and family and my beautiful partner over there. Let's celebrate this, boys.
Well done, TJ. I'd like to call up the winning captain to announce their team.
I'll try and do my best to remember who was starting where. So number 1, we had Jack Briggs. Sorry, number 3, whatever, he's in the front row. At hooker, we had Joey Brady. Number 1, we had Isaac Anderson. Number 4, Vinnie Bell.
Number 23, medium.
Number 6, Braden Dorr. Number 7, Tom Kendall. Number 8, Tommy Scarf. Number 9 for the second time this afternoon, TJ Peters. Number 10, Johnny Iceveins Dunbar. Yeah. 11, we had Finney. 12, we had James Horgan. 13, we had Johnny Chand. 14, Kyle Lombard. 15, Simi Tokomaata. 'And the bench, Jamie Walters at 16. Robbie Peters. Mackenzie Cooper. Huey Parbury. Yisi Alatimu. Ben Louis. Harry Johnson. And last but definitely not least, Big Baby Kope. And we had a couple of managers today, but we will give our manager medal to Will Gardner. And our coach, Jai Maluga.
Okay. Obviously, thanks to the TRU and all the work that they've done this year, especially Ebony and the board. Thanks to the refs. There's been a guy on our team this year who's played a year. Been playing the twos grand final. He would have played today, but unfortunately he was injured, which is Elijah. Could we just get Elijah up here, please? Try if you want to come back up with your skipper. might want the trophy. Right? So, round of applause. 2022 TRU Premiership Men's Champions Launceston Rugby Club. I can talk because I was getting... That concludes the presentations. Thank you, everyone.